Hello everybody. Alright, so I got the engine out of the car. I used the field truck. I'll show you more once I've got the other engine out of storage. Giving it a look over. I looked at the oil and looked at the valve cover and stuff, and it's still got Mopar spark plug wires, and it's clean inside. Still got the original alternator belt. Still got the original timing belt. Original water pump. Inside of the engine, it was clean when it was parked, so it's not, that orange antifreeze will stain everything, but it has a little bit of gunk in it. So the plan is I want to take it, timing cover stuff off, the intake stuff off, the exhaust stuff off, spray the engine down with some oven cleaner, spray it off real good, and I want to try to wash the inside of the engine out the best I can. It's been sitting for 16 years. Let's see if I can bring it back around. Alright, I've gotten everything off of it. I've decided to take the cylinder head and the oil pan off of it while it's out of the car, because now would be the easiest time to try to fix anything if it did have an issue. So I just got done loosening all the head bolts. They were all tight. That's a good sign, because I've noticed with those engines and other engines and stuff, if you've got head bolts that are different torques, it might have been hot. Those were all identical across it. So I'm going to pull that off and look at the cylinders. But I'm going to say that's, I don't know, probably 70,000 miles. As dark as that oil is, I can pretty well tell that they didn't take care of it. So, that's still way less miles than mine had on it. And that's a lot cleaner than mine was. Could be less, I guess, but that, that could be Havoline or something, but I'll show you this more in a second. Alright, heads off. The reason I took the head off, I seen a little bit of corrosion, fluffy corrosion, when I looked down in that thermostat hole. Some of that I don't think would have came back out. I want to wash that head off real good. I mean, out real good. And the block's got some of it in it. 16, 17 years ago, when we got this engine, I took the spark plugs out and dumped transmission fluid in all 4 cylinders. I done that to try to keep it from sticking, and it worked, but all the carbon's coming loose and it's just oily. But you can still see cross hatches, or I can, on the cylinders. That wasn't green just a couple minutes ago. I guess the sun's making it react. Cooling system's full of that. So I'm going to pressure wash that out. Then redouble D40 the cylinders and put it together. I guess normally you'd probably want to take the pistons out and clean everything real good, but I'm not going to do that. Alright, so in the other video I said this was going to be a low budget thing. Well, the head gasket was 20 bucks. And I was already going to have to get a water pump and timing belt. So that only added a little bit to it and some work. And I'll know that the engine ain't clogged up with rust. So I'll take the oil pan off and show you what the bottom of the engine looks like. Alright. Remember the part I said that they probably didn't change the oil very often. Never met anybody like that that did. And it's got some evidence of that down here. But I don't see anything wrong like a loose rod or any of that. And yeah, I could take the rod bolts out and check a rod one at a time. But I really don't want to mess with that. You're technically supposed to replace those. So since I really don't see anything wrong with them, they're all the same color, and the pistons look good down here, I say that the engine's okay. Definitely better than the one I've got. So alright, so I showed you what it looked like when I first took it apart. I have cleaned it, got all the dirt and oil and everything off of it and out of it. Double D40'd it real good. Now I'm going to let it finish drying off, that's water, and paint the block and start putting it back together. I've decided that I'm going to make an assembly video, because this is a lot different than most people do. Most people, you know, on YouTube especially, I mean, I'm not saying people in the real world don't do this, but people on YouTube normally don't do this. I'm going to put this engine together standing on its end on the tailgate of this truck on that pallet. And I figured I'd make a video showing us that. So there'll be a additional video just for assembly. Anyway, I'll see you again next time. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think. Bye.